By the time I reach the road to Zvezdny Gorodok, acute hypothermia is beginning to set in. I recognize the symptoms from my training. Stage 1 moving into 2, as my body redirects blood away from skin to conserve heat. Shivering and a general loss of coordination, the result. Later, I can expect a deterioration of vasomotor tone as the muscles now contracting my peripheral blood vessels become exhausted. As blood surges back to my chilled extremities, I'll start to feel hot rather than cold. Slipping even further into disorientation, it will take an effort of will not to succumb to that familiar and distressing syndrome, paradoxical undressing. The few layers of clothes I'm wearing, the pajamas, the thin coat I stole from Dr. Kizim, will start feeling too warm. They'll find me naked and dead in the snow. How long have I been out? An hour? 2 hours? There's no way to tell. It's like being back on the Tereshkova, when we slept so little that a day could feel like a week. All I know is that it's still night. When the sun is up, it will be harder to move around, but until then there's still time to locate Nesha Petrova. I touch the metal prize in my pocket, reassuring myself that it's still there. As if invoked by the act of touching the prize, a monstrous machine roars toward me out of the night. It's yellow, with an angled shovel on the front. I stumble into the path of its headlights and raise a wary hand. The snowplow sounds its horn. I jerk back, avoiding the blade and the flurry of dirty snow it flings aside. I think for a moment it's going to surge on past. Instead, the machine slows and stops. Maybe he thinks he's hit me. It's good. A robot snowplow wouldn't stop, so there must be someone operating this one. I hobble around to the cab where the driver's glaring at me through an unopened window. He's got a mustache, a woolen hat jammed down over his hair and ears, the red nose of a serious drinker. Above the snorting, impatient diesel, I call, "I could use a ride to town." The driver looks at me like I'm dirt, some piece of roadside debris he'd have been better shoveling into the verge. This far out of town, on this road, it doesn't take much guesswork to figure out where I've come from. The hospital, the facility, the madhouse, whatever you want to call it, will have been visible in the distance on a clear day. A forbidding smudge of dark, tiny windowed buildings tucked beyond high, razor-topped security fencing. He lowers the window an inch. "Do yourself a favor, friend. Get back. Get warm." "I won't make it back. Early onset hypothermia. Please, take me to Zvezdny Gorodok. I can't give you much, but you're welcome to these." My fingers feel like awkward teleoperated Waldos, the kind we'd had on the Progress. I fumble a pack of cigarettes from my coat pocket and push the crushed and soggy rectangle up to the slit in the window. "All you've got?" "They're American." The driver grunts something unintelligible, but takes the cigarettes anyway. He opens the pack to inspect the contents, sniffing at them. "How old are these?" "You can still smoke them." The driver leans over to open the other door. "Get in. I'll take you as far as the first crossroads on the edge of town. You get out when we stop. You're on your own from then on." I agree to any arrangement provided it gets me a few minutes in the warmth of the cab. For now, I'm still lucid enough to recognize the hypothermia creeping over me. The state of clinical detachment won't last forever. I climb in, taking deep, shivering breaths. "Thank you." "The edge of town. That's as far as we go," he says, as if I didn't get it the first time. His breath stinks of alcohol. "I'm caught giving you a ride. It won't be good for me." I doubt it'll be good for either of us. The driver shifts the snowplow back into gear and lets her roll, the engine bellowing as the blade bites snow. "They'll find you in Zvezdny Gorodok. It's not that big a place.